Does this happen to you? You literally pour hours into learning something, and then just 1 week later, it's completely gone from your brain. If that's you, you are not alone. The way we were all taught to learn is a total scam. Just rereading things over and over is broken. It tricks you into thinking you know something when you actually know nothing. But what if I told you there's an insane 4-step technique that a Nobel Prize-winning genius used to master literally any topic he wanted? A secret method that forces you to actually understand something, created by a man who believed being honest with yourself was the ultimate superpower. If you've ever wanted to learn like Richard Feynman, this is the blueprint. Most of us learn by just trying to cram as many facts as possible into our brains, hoping they stick for the test. This is the worst way to learn, and it's why you can pull an all-nighter, feel like a genius, and then your mind goes completely blank when it matters. The problem is, you never actually understood it. You just recognized it. The genius we're talking about, Richard Feynman, knew the ultimate test of knowing something isn't repeating a complicated definition, it's explaining it in super simple words. He famously said, "The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool." And memorizing is the biggest way we fool ourselves. The solution is to stop memorizing and start understanding. The Feynman Technique is a mental cheat code that forces you to get it right. This isn't magic. It's a challenge to find all of your weak spots and destroy them. The entire thing is built on one crazy idea. Explain something like you're teaching it to a kid. That's exactly how you learn like Richard Feynman, by turning knowledge into something you can actually say out loud. Let's get into the 4 steps. The 4-step framework. Step 1. Choose your concept and study it. First, you are going to pick one thing you want to learn. I don't care what it is. Quantum computing, how a car works, compound interest, literally anything. Get a blank piece of paper and write it at the top. Now, write down everything you think you know about it. As you learn more, add it to the page. This shows you exactly where you're starting from. Step 2. Teach it to a 12-year-old. This step is where everything changes. On that same piece of paper, explain the topic like you're teaching it to a 12-year-old. Use the simplest words you can. Get rid of all the jargon and complicated stuff. For example, let's do compound interest. A textbook would say something boring like, the interest on a loan or deposit calculated. A kid would immediately fall asleep. Instead, you write this. Imagine you have a piggy bank with $100. At the end of the year, the bank gives you a free $5. That's interest. Next year, the bank doesn't just give you a bonus on your first $100, it gives you a bonus on the extra $5 too. You're earning interest on your interest. Your money starts making its own money, and it grows like crazy. If you struggle to make it that simple, that's a good thing. You just found the edge of what you actually know. Step 3. Identify gaps and go back to the source. Every single place you got stuck in step 2 is a hole in your knowledge. Did you have to use a fancy word? Did your explanation not make sense? Did you get frustrated because you just couldn't make it simple? Circle those spots. Those are your targets. Now go back to your books and notes and attack only those specific points. Keep going until you can explain them in your own simple words. This is the step that forces you to be 100% honest. This is the discipline behind how to learn like Richard Feynman, instead of pretending you understand. Step 4. Once you've filled in the gaps, you have to make your explanation even better. Read it out loud. Does it sound clunky or weird? Is there an even simpler way to say it? Organize everything into one clean story that makes perfect sense. The goal is to have a single page so clear that literally anyone could understand it. This 4-step cycle of choosing, teaching, reviewing, and simplifying is a universal formula for insane learning. You can use it to get skills for a new job, crush a hard exam, or just learn something for fun. So that's the roadmap. It's literally that easy. 1. Pick a concept and start studying. 2. Teach it to a child in simple terms. 3. find your weak spots and go back and fix them. And 4, review your explanation and simplify it until it's perfect. Learning doesn't have to be this terrible process of memorizing and forgetting. As Feynman believed, there's a huge joy in finally understanding something for yourself. The challenge of discovery is the real prize. This is Peak Razor. Let's build productivity systems that win daily.